story, one memory that you would like to share that made you love this neighborhood or made you love growing up in the city?
Can I go second or third? While I think.
Okay, in the neighborhood. So I don't know, like Mumbai as a space, like I grew up in Mumbai across different spaces, and my current wife, I met when we were 17, right? Like, I mean, my wife.
Are you planning on her not being your wife? Like right now she's my wife, but I've got other plans.
I said wife now, girlfriend back then. That's what I said. So we met when we were 17, and we grew up in this neighborhood. Like we grew up dating here across the city. So stories on Marine Drive, the coastal rainy evening, all of that is part of our, yeah. And I'm sure everybody has a coastal Marine Drive story. But one of the funniest things was there was a part of my life when I was not in Bombay, and I had lost touch with her, and like I had moved out, and there was no way I could contact her. Like I didn't know, like I lost a number, or she blocked me. So serendipity, right? Like in a city with 15 million people, I see her standing in the line at a bus stop, right? And I run into her. That moment, if it had not happened, I would not be married to her now. Like that was a sweet memory that I have about this city.
I think I also have, it's not a coastal road kind of thing, but I mean, when Kunal and I were dating, at that time, I don't know, people still go for drives. I don't know, the cost of petrol and with the roads the way they are, it's not the most relaxing thing to do, but this was 17 years ago when we met. We would still go on neighborhood drives. And at that point, he was convincing me to be his girlfriend. And I was thinking about it. And there'd be times when he would come and he would park under my apartments, but stalkerish actually. Yeah. I'm thinking about them, but it was, we really spent a lot of time talking. And once he got this like important car, like an SUV that he was very proud of, and he said, I want you to come for the first drive with me. And we drove, I think on Lincoln Road, and there was so much traffic and had one of those sensors that anytime you come near anything, it goes beep, 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 beep. I think both of us had headaches at the end of that car journey. I also have memories of my daughter and dropping her to her first play school, which is also in Bandra, Toddler's Den. And I would be in tears every day because she was all of 11 months and I'd have to drop her off and she would go in crying and I would cry because I was like, oh, and then the teacher would come outside and said, she's thrown up because she's cried so much. And then after 3 days, she said, I said, did she cry? She said, yes, she cried the whole time, but she didn't throw up. So that was like a big achievement. And then it got better and better to a point where, like a month later, she was just going in and saying bye and she took her bag. And then I was crying for other reasons because I thought she didn't even cry today. So I just remember like those several moments as a parent, as a girlfriend, then became wife. And then we've had some all kinds of memories. Our house was broken into also in Bandra. There was a thief. This is not my brother's incident, which is also in Bandra, which of course is also a memory of a different kind. But our house was also broken into. And that was one of those moments when I decided that I did want to marry Kunal. Because he stayed. He didn't run away when the thief came in. And he caught the thief. And he took him to the police station. And I thought, okay, he's a good guy. I should hold on to this one.
Security.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I've got like a really short story actually. I'm actually like, if you know me as a person, you know how obsessed I am with animals and specifically cats. But my story of my neighborhood is that I know all the cats, like I really know all of them. I can take you for a walking tour. So if you're interested, let me know. I will make you meet all the cats in my neighborhood.
That's amazing. Okay, so I want to ask Soha a bunch of questions. So you have written about your life and your struggles in your book. So how did the community or your family or people in the neighborhood play a role in shaping those experiences or even helping you through those difficult moments in life?
I mean, I rely hugely on I'm a very social person. I also enjoy my alone time, but I can talk to anybody. And I feel like we do have various things that we can connect. There are times when you don't feel like talking to people, of course, but if you open yourself up, I think you can connect. And I think the very value of connection and conversation is to make you not feel alone. Even if what you're going through sometimes feels like you're the only one, or your problems seem obviously so much more personal. And so I think there have been various instances in my life. I think COVID was one of those. When the lockdown happened, and all of us, of course, had to stay home in our flats for a very long time. And then when it started to open out a little bit, we became very grateful for being able to step out and for face-to-face interactions. And I remember our building and just the street I got to know so many people, and my daughter got to play with so many friends and has made so many friends that she's friends with today also. A bunch of girls would be at each other's homes. We would go up to our terrace in the evening and we would hang together. Again, we were not allowed to drive at some point unless you had a particular reason to drive. So we would walk to friends' homes that were within safe distance. And that was just keeping us sane, that kind of sanity. That, of course, was an extreme time. But I find that it is times like that. Sometimes we need something extreme to happen to remind us of the value of interactions like this, of stepping outside of your home and meeting like this. So I remember the lockdown being one of those times where everybody I came into contact with, but especially those people who were in our immediate neighborhood.
How did that bring you forward in the things you do right now? How did that inspire you?
I mean, any kind of, as I said, any kind of interaction or story. So for me, the mental sanity of just meeting someone that was not Kunal or Inaya, much as I love them, didn't want to see their faces every day, and just speaking to other people and what's going on in their homes. Oh, you're also having, huge fights with your husband. So am I. So it's not just me. How are you doing online school? Because I realized that in those 2 years, I'm a terrible teacher. I was, luckily, thank God for the mute button. Because the amount of times I've muted it and said, and then forgotten to unmute it. But so lots of things. I just learned, I really do feel like I'm very grateful for neighbors at that time.
You talk about your daughter, and of course, today you are doing book signing of your book, The Perils of Being Moderately Famous. So I would like to ask, what's a story or what's a memory that you'd like to pass on to your daughter or even the future generation for that matter? Which one would it be? What's something that you'd give to them?
Wow. I actually wrote this book when I was pregnant because I feel like we forget. We've all lived. All of you are of a certain age and you have memories of your childhood. And a lot of those memories may not be in Mumbai. Maybe you guys, your homes, your families are somewhere else. Like mine was. Mine were in Delhi and in Patodi. And then I was in Mumbai writing this book. And sometimes I feel very disconnected from our childhood and our past. And my past certainly is all but gone in terms of the fact that Inaya has, she never met my father. I think that would be there's a chapter on my father in the book. And because she never met him, I wanted to put down a lot of things that were particular to who he was and what he taught me as a child. And that's one of my biggest regrets, is that she would never sit on his lap or that he would never be able to tell her things from his mouth. Because we all said, oh, what would Abba say or how would he do it? But nobody would be able to do it the way that he did. So I wanted to write certain things down about him, about our family, about a history that is all but gone, things that you won't even see. Our life is so different today from in the 80s when I was growing up. So to explain to her, that we had one landline, and it would be, my sister would lock herself in the room with that one landline for 2 hours. And we didn't even know where in the house the phone was. So you had to follow the wire to find where it was and then try and get it from her. And my father used to lock the phone It used to be a phone like that. I don't even know if you guys know phones like that. So you used to put a small tala on it so that we could not make phone calls at night. But there was a way of picking up the receiver and you could press on it like certain times and you could call like 301. And I could do that with my best friend Priyanka, which she didn't know. So like just all these things that she never know, that she takes for granted, that you can FaceTime people anywhere in the world today for free. When my mother went to shoot, she went to Mississippi to shoot for 3 months. I didn't see her. And I wrote her a letter every day until my father said it's too expensive to post to America. So you write her once a week. And then when that first internet connection came and you could dial up and that. So just, I mean, it's phenomenal. There's so many stories that I want to leave her with so that she's aware that yes, we've destroyed a lot of things and the air that we breathe and all of that is a bit messed up. Sorry about that. But there's a lot that she has to be grateful for as well.
That's amazing. That's so heartwarming. But I would still ask you, could you share one story?
So there's a lot of parakeets, but I have to say that it'll probably be the crow. That's what you see the most, and that's what you hear the most.
I'm a person, so.
Not an animal, but like there is a langur that goes around in Joggers Park. Have you guys seen it? There is a langur. Yeah, there is a langur. I was so surprised to see it. So he's the icon. This is one guy.
Okay, this question is for the audience, and I hope you say it loudly. If one question, okay? If your neighborhood hosted a festival, what would it be called? Louder, guys, louder.
You guys have any questions? Let's go. We have, yeah.
So I just had one question. Like, if you can change, like you have the power to change anything in this neighborhood, what would it be? Like, you can banish something other than the potholes.
Other than the potholes, I like the potholes.
I would like to build a bridge between Bandra East and Bandra West. It's insane getting into Bandra West.
Any other questions? What inspired you today?
Which one?
Any. You always think you're going to be like.
My mother forced me basically. She's like, we sent you to Oxford, we spent a lot of money on your education, we'd like to see something. So write a book is the actual honest answer, but I was very happy that I took advantage of being at home for a couple of months to write it. It was mainly because I have a bad memory in my mid-40s. I think it's like hormone related. I knew that this was going to happen. I wanted to write things down. I think all of us have a story in us. And what separates the writers from the non-writers is just laziness. Everybody can put pen to paper, finger to keyboard, and write one story. And it's very cool to be a published author at the end of it. So I encourage everyone to try. It's not that hard.
I wanted to write a book all my life. But now that I'm meeting a lot of authors and I'm seeing the struggle it is to promote a book. You answer questions.
There's no money at all.
Yeah.
Unless you take the government.
Yeah.
And unless I mean, this is not going to be turned into a movie.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be a published author, but it has to be like, for me, I thought this would become like Peppa Pig, I really did. And I thought I would make a lot of money and there'd be like merchandise, and there'd be like Indian Bobo everywhere. It's not happened. Also, very hard to write a book with your husband. I do not recommend it. You can write a book with Kunal, but don't write a book with your husband because it's very tough. And he was like, what did you do? He's very creative. He writes a lot. He sings a lot. He's very talented. But I think that I have good style of writing and we had a big argument over what makes an author. Who's bringing more to the table? Is it the person who comes up with the idea and the heartbeats of the story? Or is it someone who makes the sentences and finishes it and makes it look pretty and beautiful? What do you think?
It's 50-50. It cannot be
50-50, but my name still comes first. Published author. Nice.
Okay, last question.
Can I ask, how do you think your daughter inspired you?
Inspired by writing. She inspires me just every day. Like, I'm so in love. think that she inspired my writing because she's all children, I think I don't know all children, of course, but I think they're born to love everything. And they love all animals. She will not let me kill a mosquito. Even though I've told her a mosquito is a dangerous animal, it can take your life. She will not let me hurt a fly. When we go to restaurants and there's a fly, she will take some of her food and put it on a plate for the fly. And I said, Inaya, I don't know about this, but I think her kindness is what inspired me inspired us. I must represent Kunali, who is not here. It inspired us to write this story. And also because we see so many indie animals all over. And we are generally kind to them, but there's also a lot of lack of kindness that exists. So in a non-preachy way, just to talk about opening up your homes. And if you did, for example, the problem in Delhi that people are going into, and we can have a whole other discussion about that, which we won't, I understand. But just the kindness that she has, that she may lose over time. Because I will kill those mosquitoes. And one day, she'll kill a mosquito herself and it'll be heartbreaking. So while she's still that inspired me.
Wow. Okay, we have like 2 more questions, yes.
Like a book recommendation for this generation, not just like in general.
Oh God, doesn't this generation not like recommendations? Don't you guys not like to be told what to do? Because my 7-year-olds, if I recommend a book, that's one way I'm sure she's not going to. I'll read everything, but I will not read that book.
You have to assure us you're going to read what for recommendation.
It depends, it's so personal. What do you like reading?
I read any recommendation, movie, any recommendation. Just the cover has to be good.
You're not supposed to judge a book by its cover.
The way I pick up.
I like good writing. Ian McEwan, like all his writing. Saturday is a beautiful. One of the books that I love reading, a book called Freedom by Jonathan Franzen. It's a big book. But you must read it and tell me if you cry at the end of it, because I cry. I like crying.
Okay, one last question.
What is your message for the debut authors, and how much time did it take for you to write this book?
So different people have different processes. I wrote this over 8 months, but I wrote for 3 days in a month, over 8 months. And I wrote chapter-wise. So I write a chapter, and I like to write in a way that that sentence has to be perfect, and then I move on. Kunal, for example, writes a movie script in 2 weeks, and he will not stop to correct it, or he'll write from the heart. I'm slightly more into the language and the presentation of it. So I think each to their own. So it can be, I think but it took me 8 months. And I think that's all right. No?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, my editors were happy with the deadlines.
Okay, we still have one more.
It's a little different direction, but then the question is, through all phases of your life, what has actually pushed you to do better, to do diverse things? What is that one thing or that fire?
It's a great question, because if I was not pushed, I'd be like a couch potato. I'm very chill, and I really enjoy my life, and I enjoy reading and binge watching and good food, and I think it is the people in my life. I think it helps to have, again, my husband is 5 years younger than me, so he pushes me to go to the gym, and he pushes me to be romantic every day. He's very interested in having a successful marriage. So am I. But he understands that it requires work. Every relationship, I know people bounce very quickly these days, and they're very into what makes me happy. But I appreciate that about him. I think I'm far more lazy as a person. So I think it's the people around you in your immediate circle, and hopefully they're positive voices, not nagging voices. Hopefully they show you by example. And I certainly can say that they have, again, in my mid-40s now, I understand the need to reinvent yourself. You do something for a while, and then you stop learning and you stop growing as an individual. So it's very important. So now my daughter's learning how to play the piano. So I'm learning with her. It's not good, but I feel like it's using parts of my brain that I haven't used before. I've just started this podcast. We started shooting it about 3 months ago. It's again something very new for me. And suddenly I'm also thinking, why did I start it? Because there's a commitment to upload everything on Friday on YouTube. And that's a lot of work. And nobody's putting money into this. I'm putting my own money into it. So, why did I do it? But I'm also enjoying it. I think it's nice to build something. And something of your own. Like you say, this is mine. And hopefully it'll grow if you're consistent with it. It has to be something that you're passionate about.
I just had one small follow-up question. Any realization, like a realization you had in these past few days or months, that has really changed the direction or the course of your, life or career?
I have many realizations, but I think the one thing that I'm coming to terms with, and I still haven't got there, is that this phase in my life, I'm 46, is very tumultuous. Like my hormones are out of balance. This gentleman is nodding. Why were you nodding? Okay, you're like, yes, mine too. This realization was men and women have hormonal cycles. Women's hormonal cycles are for 28 days, all of us know. Men's hormonal cycles are for how long, Anu?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. It's 1 day. 1 day, 24 hours. Somebody really likes you. And when your luteal phase is, when you need to nurture, and it's when you sleep. Yeah. Men. So I've realized that being a woman is incredible. We are incredible people, girl. Like every girl here. Just by being a woman, that's phenomenal. That's my realization.
Amazing.
You're also okay, but that's phenomenal.
Okay.
46 in a way.
Yeah, that's
I'll be 47 October 4th.
Okay, so now that we're at the end of the segment, I would like to ask all three of you one last question. Someone asked, what would you change about the neighborhood or the city? I would like to ask, what would you give back?
More. I like even in the space that I entered with books, I have done retail, right? Like we've set up a bookstore and we're doing it commercially and all that. I want to do the philanthropic side of books. I want to just give books to communities reading, like underprivileged kids. Me and my wife are very keen on doing something for the underprivileged kids. She works with children. She's a Montessori teacher. So we want to do something, set up a library of sorts and sort of figure out some way that is just giving back to the community in reading culture, right?
Yes. I think I know what you're saying. I got a different answer. Yes,
I think for me, I also really enjoy building things, right? And each time when the only time I've ever been unhappy in my life when I feel stagnated. And for me, when I'm building things also, I want them to be impactful in the sense where, even when I'm not present, things should continue to happen. And this, like the Neighbourhood Festival, for instance, for me was that, building the Art House before that and now with DNF, the idea is to build something impactful for the community that can linger and that can stay with us and within the city as a culture. So yeah, what I want to give back to the city is just a culture of togetherness. I think that's the impact that I want to create with my work, and I really enjoy it. I wake up every morning feeling very happy to work. So yeah.
What do I say? I think it's we feel sometimes when we live in a country like India, in a city like Mumbai, the things are difficult. There's a lot of unemployment, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of inflation, there's a lot of stress. People aren't able to save money also. Everything goes in just your day-to-day living. There's problems with animals, there's problems with infrastructure. It's overwhelming. And I think that that's what's lovely about things like this, is when you come together with your immediate neighborhood, and if you make a difference there, just in a little circle, You find a little circle and you say, this is my circle. I'm going to keep this circle clean, for example. I'm not going to pollute this circle. I'm going to be kind to this circle. I'm going to engage in this circle and do things that are offline, for example, whether it's arts and culture. That circle improves. And if everyone is doing that for their own circle, then that's how the world improves. So I think that is what I try to do within a small circle, is to definitely leave a footprint, but try and not pollute it as much as possible. Try and work with the planet wherever possible. We have to develop it. There are ways of doing it in ways that we're not damaging too much. And then engaging with our environment. So whether it's the arts and culture, I'm so excited that you have people here and it's so phenomenal to see such a good turnout for something like this. I wasn't sure how many people are interested, and especially in the first half of the day on a Saturday. So many young people. That means that there is a need. There's a want to connect. And that's wonderful to see that that's still alive.
Amazing. Okay, guys, can we have a good? Okay, any final thoughts? Last sentence. That it's only one sentence.
You can do something.
I should do.
Yeah, I should.
A lot of things.
She's been the operator here, like
Yeah.
running this entire.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Okay, guys, I would like to say that Soha's not only here to join us for the panel, but she's also doing a book signing. So make sure you buy the book. It's right there in that corner, and then she'll also be signing your book. So
Signing it. I'm signing it. And for every book you buy, I make $20.
yes. Okay.
And my daughter's birthday is coming up. It costs a lot of money. Have kids' birthday parties. It's a K-pop Demon Hunters theme. Ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, thank you guys so much for